Hi, Michael Evans, Chair of the Fresno County Democratic Party. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about the outlook for the 2018 election and particularly what's going to be on the ballot in June. But as we start, we can't really look at 2018 without looking about what got us here and why this is such an important election cycle. The 2016 election of Trump radically changed the country in many different ways. And since then, we've seen some incredible activity that's come to be known as the resistance effort. There's a number of resistance groups operating here in Fresno County, and a lot of people just generally opposed to the Trump administration and its policies, and increasingly Devin Nunes and some of the bizarre things that he's been doing as well. So we saw an unprecedented level of ground activity in 2017 that is going to be very beneficial to our efforts in 2018. But I wanted to talk specifically about what's going to be on the ballot in June, because that will help you as you're reaching out to your neighbors and perhaps to address some of the questions that they have. So obviously the sexy races are going to be the statewide constitutional races and the U.S. Senate race. So for the statewide races, that includes the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, state controller, state treasurer, insurance commissioner, and superintendent of public instruction. And if you need any information on any of the candidates running for those seats, we are happy to provide that here at the headquarters. For the U.S. Senate seat, the Feinstein seat is on the ballot this year. She is seeking re-election and has a few challengers, including Kevin De Leon. But as we bring it a little more local, we look at the congressional races, and we have 4 congressional districts that come into Fresno County. Congressional District 4, that's the Tom McClintock seat, has a lot of geography in Fresno County on the eastern part of the county, but not very many actual voters. There's under 10,000. Then there's the CD16, which is Jim Costa, and he's the only Democrat representing the Central Valley in Congress, and he's up for re-election. And then we have Congressional District 21. That's currently David Valadeo. That seat's interesting because it has a 17 percentage point Democratic registration advantage. Hillary won the district, I believe, by 12 points, and yet we have a Republican in office there. So we feel like that's really an opportunity for a turnaround, and Amelia Huerta, who ran last time, has stepped up to run again this election cycle. But the key congressional race in the area, the one that's generating the most interest, is Congressional District 22, and Devin Nunes is the current representative in that seat. He's obviously been embarrassing both himself and the Central Valley over the past year with his shenanigans vis-a-vis being something of a Trump lackey. This is kind of a heavily Republican district, but because of Trump and Nunes and the general resistance efforts in this cycle, we really feel like it could be in play. And just one sort of aside on this, a lot of people refer to the Nunes district as being gerrymandered, but in fact we don't have gerrymandering in California at the state and federal level, because in 2010 the voters passed a proposition to give us an independent redistricting commission, and therefore we have probably the fairest process for determining districts in the entire country. So the best way to think about it, though, is that it would be as difficult to create a Democratic competitive district in conservative areas of California as it would be to make a Republican competitive district in South Central LA. So, but it is not gerrymandered, but it will be difficult to win. And then we have the Senate races. There are 3 state Senate seats that come into Fresno County. The Berry Hill seat, he's terming out. Tom Pratt and Paulina Miranda are Democrats running for that seat. There is the Vidak seat, and Vidak is the Republican incumbent. He's seeking re-election. There's currently 3 Democrats vying for that: Melissa Hurtado, Abigail Solis, and Ruben Macareno. And then on the west side, some of the west side towns are in the 12th Senate District, and that seat's currently held by Anthony Canella, but he's terming out. And Ana Caballero looks like she's going to be the endorsed candidate from the party in that district. And then for the Assembly District level, we have 2 seats in Fresno County. It's pretty much east side and west side. The east side, the Republican seat, is held by Jim Patterson, who's up for re-election, and the west side, more Democratic seat, is held by Joaquin Arambula, who is also up for re-election this year. And then we get to the really local races. Board of Supervisors. There are 2 Board of Supervisor seats on the ballot. District 1, which is the Ryan Pacheco seat, and he does have a Democratic challenger, Jose Ornelas. District 4, which is the Buddy Mendez seat, currently has a Democratic challenger, and we think there will be others that step up. And then the county-wide races for assessor, registrar, auditor, and sheriff are on the ballot this year. And again, once again, those are county-wide, and they will be on the June ballot. And then the only other races that will be on the June ballot are for the Fresno City Council. The odd districts are on the ballot this year. That's 1, 3, 5, and 7. District 1, Esmeralda Soria is the incumbent. It does appear she's going to have a Republican challenger. In District 3, that's now an open seat because Oliver Baines has termed out, and there's a whole host of people running for that one, most of whom are Democrats. In District 5, the incumbent is Luis Chavez. There's already a couple of folks that have signed up to challenge him. And then in District 7, Clint Olivier has termed out, so that's an open seat. There's currently 3 people running for that, including 2 Democrats, Genoveva Islas and Nelson Esparza. So for the Board of Supervisors races and the city races, any of these county races and below, they can be won outright if a candidate gets 50% plus 1 in the June primary. If no candidate gets 50% plus 1, then the top 2 candidates move on to a decision-making election in November. For the state and congressional races, the top 2 candidates advance to November regardless of the percentage outcome. If one person gets 98% and another person gets 2%, they both advance in November. So that's what your ballot's going to look like in June. It is critical that we get folks to vote in June. Both the primary and the general are extremely important, particularly in this cycle and in the current environment. We've got to take back our government, and you're the folks who can help us do that. Thank you.